Americana Outdoors is brought to you in part by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter for hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Yamaha Outdoors, real world tough. Welcome back to our Nebraska turkey hunt with Steve Nessl and Bob Humphrey.
We didn't want to set up right on the roost, so we were back probably a couple hundred yards up over a little rise down in a depression. And we heard the birds. We were scared to get too close. We didn't want to, bugger anything up. So in the dark, we did a pretty good job of finding this little knob in these trees and get ourselves set up and disguise ourselves pretty good. And oh my goodness, the amount of noise coming out of those trees was ridiculous. It sounded like hundreds of gobblers. There's probably several dozen, maybe 40, 50, and that's still just crazy numbers to be thinking about when we're thinking about turkeys. Right away, turkeys were by us on our right. We knew they were huddled up over the rise because they were just continually gobbling once they hit the ground. And eventually, a couple three came up over the top and saw our setup and kind of stalled out there for a long time and waited till a fourth bird joined them. And eventually, Bob called them all the way in.
They started to head our way, but they were sort of quartering away, and I still wasn't certain. I didn't know if they were going to come straight in or if they were going to go join another group that had already gone off to our right. And even as they closed the distance, they still kept quartering away. And then finally, at the very last second, they committed, and that one big bird puffed up in a full strut, and the other birds sort of took that as a signal, I think, that it's okay. Let's go into those decoys now. And that was it. That's when I knew it was going to happen.
That's okay. They're going to go. They're coming all the way in. You got them again. He's got him. He's got the one on the right. Which one? Which one? Which one?
I got the one on the right.
Kind of came in on our right, but at some point turned in and came right at our setup and well within range. I mean, I think when Bob shot, it was probably about 15, 20 yards, that first bird, and the other ones hung out long enough for Bob to get a second shot at his second bird, and he was pretty much tagged out right then.
I've been doing this for a long time, and it's still, I get nervous, I get the shakes, and I still worry, am I going to be able to pull this off? Because as much experience as I've had, I miss birds. There's so many things that can go wrong, and until you pull the trigger, one, and then until you see that bird drop, then you know it's a done deal and everything worked the way it was supposed to and the way you wanted it to.
Look at that, sir. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Not too bad.
No, that's a pretty bird. Love those buffy fringes to the tail feathers there.
Look at that.
That's just so pretty.
With the morning hunt behind them, Bob and Steve headed back to camp. By late morning, conditions changed. High winds, rain, and cold temperatures moved in.
After starting out to chase another bird, we just got poured on, so we had to call it quits and come back to camp. But late in the day, had the opportunity, or they actually came up, either you go out on your own or you just sit in camp. So I got out there, got a plan together, set up on a, kind of where we thought they might be heading back to roost late in the evening. We were kind of in the middle of that back country, if you will. Wouldn't you know it, about, probably half an hour to an hour before it gets dark, a bunch of turkeys just bail into the field right behind me. I mean, just dump into the field.
What the hell?
So I moved as slowly as I could. I actually turned all the way around to see what those birds were gonna do.
What are they doing? There's something else, they're going the right direction.
And I realized if I'm gonna have a chance at all, I'm probably gonna have to call. And I start yelping at these gobblers, you know, doing my best hand impression. And I start forgetting about worrying about the calling. Right now, I just wanna get those birds' attention, and it started to work out pretty good.
The one on the right now. Are you ready? The one on the right. Oh. Wow.
Congratulations to both Bob Humphrey and Steve Nessl on a successful hunt. For information on Yamaha's line of ATVs and side-by-sides, look them up online at YamahaOutdoors.com. Coming up, we've got more spring turkey hunting as we head to Texas with Wade Middleton. Don't let your hunt go to waste. Food Saver's vacuum sealer keeps your fish and game fresh. Order your Food Saver online at Cabela's.com. We'll be right back with more from the field on Americana Outdoors.